insase deuxième Chanel moi, and today we're going to be talking about Baron Samdi. Now I could have swore I gave him a dedicated video, however I realized I did not. However, I did touch basis about him in a video that I did where I covered a girl that might have allegedly died trying to practice Haitian voodoo and summoning Papa Legba. However, she went and summoned Baron Samdi instead. Now, of course, this is all alleged, but the story was pretty big online, and I did a video on that, and I touched base on who he was and why people call him, etc. But I never gave him his own video, so it's only right that I do so today. If you guys are new here, you would know I do not tolerate any disrespect of anyone's religion ever. So if you disrespect anyone, it will be deleted promptly. You want people to respect you, you have to respect others, okay? No matter what their beliefs are, especially when you are ignorant to said beliefs. No disrespect will be tolerated in the comment section whatsoever. So Baron Samdi is the most beloved and one of the most popular loi in a lot of religions. Today we'll be talking about Haitian voodoo. However, he is found in Louisiana voodoo, folk Catholicism, and a whole lot of other religions. He is the loi of sex, fertility, death, and resurrection. He has numerous incarnations / personalities. This is very heavily debated. Some people say that they have seen the other barons together. Some people say it's a personality and he can switch between the two. Kind of like Ezuli Dantor, Ezuli Frida, and the other Ezulis. It's very confusing, but nonetheless, he can also be associated with or is incarnated or has the personality of Baron Cimetière or Cimetière. Y'all get the point. Cemetery and Baron Criminel, which means criminal. And yeah, these are two vastly different identity personas I'm going to get into a little bit later. Now, of course, Baron Samdi can also be translated as Baron Saturday. Samdi means Saturday in Haitian Creole. He is synchronized with Saint Martin de Paul, and he is also synchronized with Saint Expedite. But what a lot of people may or may not know is that he's also said to be synchronized with Jesus. This is why one of his main symbols is a cross, and he is the loi of resurrection. Now, the reason this may be is because allegedly his associations with the cross actually predate before Christianity in the Congolese cosmology. In Congolese cosmology, the cross actually symbolizes birth, death, and rebirth. So realistically, yeah, the cross is not just like a Jesus Christian thing. It's been around before, you know, Christianity, etc. Now, the association between Jesus and Baron is the fact that Jesus, when he died on the cross, literally was only dead for one legitimate day. Died on a Friday, was dead on Saturday, resurrected on Sunday. Therefore, the name Baron Samdi came about. On Saturday, even Jesus had to answer to Baron Samdi, who is the Lord of the Dead. There's also another explanation that says that he is actually related to the zombie world as well, or like part of the zombification type of process. But yeah, we'll get into that later. Now, as the guardian and basically the king of the underworld, he oversees all the Guédillois. I talked about this in my Mama Brigitte video because that is his wife. They basically handle everything that has to do with the underworld, and they basically guard the Guédillois as well as the cemeteries and stuff like that. But he is not like most people that you would send to guard stuff, okay? He likes to twirl his cane, he's smoking cigars. Like, life is one big party for him. He doesn't really take much serious, especially all the Guédillois, they're all like that. So I'm sure you can imagine if the Guédillois are like that, he's definitely going to be like that as literally the leader of them. He loves to stop by for his trance dancing, and when he has his time off, which is mostly Saturdays, he likes to turn up, okay? He likes to party. He shows up to rituals. He's like literally the life of the party, okay? Which is why a lot of young people are usually drawn to him, because it's like, he's fine. He's the fun loi. He's not that serious. I mean, he has his moments and everything, but he's like one of those loi that like very, very YOLO, very, very chill, very, very funny, likes to play jokes on people. He watches over children. That is definitely something that like he's heavily known for. Women seeking to conceive, so women who have a lot of infertility problems, funeral workers, grave diggers, and anyone who does any type of work that relies on them dealing with people who are dead or close to death. So yeah, like people who work in hospice, of course, mortician, stuff like that. Like, he watches over them pretty heavily. Now, as fun as I said he is, he can be a little bit scary. Now, a lot of times he does come to the earth as a beggar. However, in his regular attire, he basically looks like a Haitian corpse. Talking about suit, top hat, nose plugs, cane, like literally like a living Haitian corpse. That's the best way to explain it, but like a flea one. But his face is usually either half skeleton or whole skeleton. And I believe in Louisiana Voodoo, correct me if I'm wrong, he is a skeleton himself, but in Haitian Voodoo, it's just his face that's a skeleton, or sometimes depicted as half a skeleton. Of course, he always has his cigar along with his rum, which is steeped in 21 hot peppers. Mama Brigitte has about the same type of mixture. I'm not sure if it's they might be the same mixture, but she likes rum with hot peppers as well. And this rum is said to be so spicy and so intolerable that absolutely no human can drink it. Not even other Loire can drink this drink. Also speaks in a very nasally voice, and he usually has his black sunglasses on, usually missing an eye. Now, the reason it is missing an eye is because it is said that he can see both the world of the living and the dead at the same time. So that's why he has one open, so he can, you know, pay attention to what's going on here and then what's going on down there. Another theory is that the reason he has one eye in his sunglasses is specifically because a penis has but one eye and the phallus is his attribute. Honestly, yeah, he's a very sexual Loire, so of course this would make a lot more sense to a lot of people. And another really funny one is that they say that with one eye he watches over his food. He loves food. He has a very huge appetite. His favorite foods being black goats and black roosters. So of course, as I mentioned before, Mama Brigitte is his wife. If you guys want to know about Mama Brigitte or Mama Brigitte or whatever type of enunciation you've been going on with, because there's different enunciations for a lot of these Loire. I did a video about her. It will be down in the description or pinned up above. This is his wife, and they are like totally in love with each other and all of that. They're like the power couple, low key, of the Loires. People really, really respect them. And Mama Brigitte is also the one that kind of keeps him in check a little bit, because he doesn't really listen to anyone but his wife. He's very, I'm not listening to nobody and I'm not taking nobody serious because I don't have to. That's how most gay they are though, for the most part. They literally laugh at anyone who takes themselves too seriously. And sometimes he gets too carried away. If someone will ask him for something, he doesn't take it seriously, and you know, it becomes a whole problem. So a lot of people just go to Mama Brigitte. Mama Brigitte puts him in line, and then he does it, because again, that is the only person he will listen to. So realistically, it's easier to go through her than him. But I mean, as much as she keeps him in check, as in love as they are, he definitely does cheat on her and definitely loves to fuck with mortal women all the time. A horrible thing, but hey, I mean, this sounds very, very synonymous to like Haitian culture anyway. So I mean, I'm not saying it's okay. It'll never be okay. But she does know this. He actually never lies to her whatsoever. And I mean, like, let's be real, like, how could he? He has a very interesting reputation, and everyone knows how he's set up. But he basically loves her so much that he would never leave her no matter what. He believes that she is one of the best women he has ever met, and no one can compare to her. Therefore, she can never be replaced. So yeah, Mama Brigitte is legitimately a ride or die. She keeps him in check, and anytime something legitimately needs to be done, she makes sure he does it, or she does it on his behalf, whatever the case may be. Now, these requests usually have to do with infertility, death, or even curses. These two are like a power match when it comes to lifting or protecting one from dying of a voodoo type of curse. Much as he is the Loire of death, he is also the Loire of life, because realistically, Baron Samedi is the gatekeeper of the underworld. Okay, that's basically the best way to put it. If he doesn't accept you, you can't die. If someone is trying to kill you, okay, if someone put a hex on you or whatever the case may be, and the hex so happens to literally make you want to die, going to Bao Samdi is definitely one of the best things you can do, because he can stop this from happening, because he will simply just not dig your grave. He has to dig your grave in order for you to actually die. And even though he play all day, his powers are actually quite impressive and he's very powerful. Now, this is where the zombie part comes. He actually protects people from becoming zombies as well. Now, Bao Samdi's key job is to basically greet you into the afterlife. So when you die, he digs up your grave and he's like, hello, motherfucker, you're ready to come? And he takes you. Like, literally, that's not what he says. You get the point. And if you guys are not familiar with zombies, I also did a video on zombies as well. Will be carded up above or linked down below. Zombies are literally people that have died, whose souls are taken to basically work the earth as nameless, personality-less people. Usually it's a punishment type of thing. Usually Ogons or Mumbo or stuff like that will take the soul of someone and force them to work for them for eternity, usually because they did something bad or just to be malicious, to be honest, like just out of malice. That doesn't really help Bao Samdi because he's supposed to be protecting the cemetery, and part of this entire process is in the cemetery. Like I said, you guys are gonna have to watch that video or know about zombies to understand what I'm talking about. But part of the zombification process, a huge part of it, is the cemetery. The person has to legitimately like die, or like they have to literally go through the funeral process, be put into the ground, and dig back up later. He's there to protect this type of thing from happening, but of course it still happens anyway, which is really ridiculous and really sad. Now, most of the time he is pretty happy, pretty content. He's not a Loa that asks for too much. He's a very low maintenance Loa. The people who serve him kind of help him protect the cemetery as well. And all he asks for in return is usually like small gifts, like cigars, you know, coffee, grilled peanuts, some rum, of course, bread. Like, he's very low maintenance. But there are times where he will ask those who follow him to basically do a ceremony for him so he can enter into this world. Sometimes he kind of has to have that. This is because Bao lives at the crossroads. Literally, he is in between the world of the living and the dead. When someone dies forever, he digs their grave and greets their souls, like I said. And of course, all the homies come to help. This is the Gede Loa. Gede Loa have a strong particular link to ancestral worship, death, magic, and they also help carry the dead into the underworld. He is said to be extremely loud, rambunctious, argumentative, outrageous, and he's always like really nasty, making filthy jokes. So a lot of the Loa actually can't stand him, okay? Like, they be like, oh my god, like, here this man is again. Like, a lot of them really can't stand him because his personality is just so out there. This can be a serious problem because Bao loves to make deals. And we all know what happens when you make deals with the trickster. That's where Mama Brigitte would come in hand. It would make more sense to go through her because she's more about her business, okay? And that's honestly why he fell in love with her in the first place, because she takes her job so seriously. But nonetheless, he loves to make deals. And that's probably one way to piss him off, is when someone does not uphold their deal. Not upholding your deal with Bao Samdi can legitimately cost you your life. Even if it's something very small, it's one of his like serious pet peeves. He does not like when people lie. He does not like when people make a deal with him and don't hold up their end of the bargain, especially if it's for a ridiculous reason that just absolutely makes no sense. A deal is a deal in Bao's eyes, and if you don't uphold the deal, you will pay for it. Because of this kind of strict but like lewd behavior at the same time, pop culture has definitely painted him out to be very much so a villain. It's very interesting how many books, movies, shit, even like video games and stuff have like painted him to be like a monster in a sense. Even those who practice voodoo, like depending on who you ask, they're probably afraid of Bao and anyone who serves him. Like anybody who serves Bao Samdi or anything like that, a lot of them are feared in the community of the voodoo religions, because it's like, oh my god, like Bao, like And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he is like literally the Lord of Death. Like at that point, if you kind of serve Bao Samdi, that's a powerful Loa to serve, low key, because he is legitimately the gatekeeper. Like, he's literally at the crossroads. he can determine if you die or not. Like, so if you're doing something wrong in life, okay, or if you ever fall into a situation where you need, like, I guess immortality, not immortality because all humans die, right? But if you ever fall into a situation where it's like you're not supposed to die yet or anything like that, Baon got you. That's a very, very powerful law to have. Same thing as Papa Legba or even Mama Brigitte, because those are the ones that are like mainly in charge of like who lives and who dies. The difference with Bao Samdi is like his personality, okay? Even Mama Brigitte could be a little crude and a little loud and rambunctious and stuff, but like Bao Samdi takes it to a whole nother level. And it's like, they're not even being disrespectful. They're not cursing you out like, fuck you, bitch, you ugly. It's not like that. But like, just that type of personality, people with strong personalities, those of you out there who have strong personalities can understand. Sometimes it can be misunderstood. Even people misunderstand my personality all the time, and it is what it is. Like, it just comes with the territory. Of course, a lot of the misconceptions of Bao Samdi have to do with the association of voodoo as being black magic. If you are one of those people, please understand. Black magic and voodoo is not the same thing whatsoever. However, just like Christianity or any other beliefs that humans follow, black magic can be used in conjunction with one's beliefs in order to do bad things to people. From hexes and curses to literally, you know, amassing millions of dollars and using people around you to sacrifice whatever. Like, these things can happen, they do happen, and people, I kid you not, definitely pay the price for it, whether they offered an innocent soul or their own soul or just a generational curse to everyone else in their family. Do not do it. I'm telling you, it will not end well. So let's get into Baron Criminel. Now, Baron Criminel is said to be a murderer who has been condemned to death and is invoked to pronounce swift judgment. That's his backstory. And when someone is possessed by Baron Criminel, it can be a very, very scary sight. These people tend to try to stab people. Yes, I'm not even joking, okay? They try to stab people, call for sacrifices, black chickens doused in gasoline and lit on fire. Which, you know what's interesting? I've seen burning black chickens before, and people told me it was a voodoo thing. And to this day, this was when I was a kid, and now I'm like, oh fucking shit. And apparently you're not supposed to be able to see it unless it's for you, but I definitely seen burning chickens. And this is like a Long Island, long story short, very scary shit. If you present Baron Criminel with food and he doesn't like it, he gonna literally bite your arm off. Like, yes, he's been said to bite the person's arm off, whoever he's possessing, if he doesn't like the food that is presented to him. Well, not bite the arm off, but like bite a chunk out of the person's arm. Like, there's a lot going on with the Baron Criminel thing. So I would say kind of stay away from that one because clearly there's a lot going on. Next, of course, you have Baron Cimetière. Now, Baron Cimetière, of course, watches over the cemeteries, okay? Because cimetière means cemetery. And this isn't like just a passive role with the body snatchers on the lookout for zombies and stuff like that. This is said to be like his sole job. He doesn't leave the cemetery whatsoever. And then there's Baron Lacroix, which is the Baron that literally stands legitimately at the crossroads, okay? Meet me at the crossroads so you don't get lonely. Meet me at the crossroads so you don't get lonely. I'm sorry, I just had to do it. Like, come on, 90s babies, y'all know that song. He's also said to possibly be the manifestation of Gideon himself. Now, again, this may be different personalities or just highlight his different roles, different venerations. Like, this has always been something that confused me because unlike like Izzy Frida and Izzy Duntor, like there's clearly a relationship between them as being like sisters in a sense. But with this, it's different because it's like there's people that have said that they've seen them together, like two separate entities. Baron Samdi, Baron Lacroix, Baron Cimetière, Baron Criminel. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's so interesting. But then again, like, let's think about how these voodoo ceremonies go. Lots of rum, lots of cigars, lots of no sleep. So who knows? People could just be making things up, or who knows? Comment down below, what is your theory? Do you think that they're all different people? Do you think that they're different types of Baron? Do you think it's just Baron Samdi and his personalities? It depends on how he feel at that time. Very interested to know because I don't think I have a clear-cut opinion on that. So for his altar, you may want to get a picture of him. Usually One of the most common pictures is of him chained to a cross, like his throne is chained to a cross. Also, images of Darth Vader are usually used to depict him, which is very interesting. He also likes toys, which is very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one. I know a lot of the Loa like candy, but I don't think toys has ever been one yet that I've covered. So, of course, toys. Offerings include black coffee, dark sunglasses, wrought iron crosses, roasted peanuts, dry toast, bread, cigars, the list goes on. And his colors are black, red, and purple. Feast days are November 2nd, which is, of course, the Day of the Dead, as well as April 24th. Bao Samdi is a very interesting Loa. Hands down, one of the most entertaining Loa that I've ever had to read up on. I've looked into him plenty of times, asked a lot of people around about him. I don't think I know anyone that legitimately serves him though, because most people I know are like low-key afraid of him. You know, his attitude may not be serious all the time. He likes to trick people. He doesn't take people seriously. If you take yourself too seriously, you know, it actually makes perfect sense that younger people would be drawn to him, because it's like he is the life of the party, and younger people usually tend to be the life of the party. However, I could understand why someone would not want to deal with him because of the consequences of either their own actions. He doesn't really like people who are too serious of themselves and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense. Like, I've heard of people knowing people who serve him, but I personally don't know anyone who serves him. So comment down below if you serve him, or if you know anyone who serves him, or have you served him in the past? What was your experience? I'm very curious to know. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Comment down below who is your favorite Loa and why. I still don't know. I don't think I got a favorite yet. I don't know yet. I need to do a lot more research on a lot more Loa. There's going to be at least 200 of these videos by the time I'm done. I'm trying to make a video for each Haitian voodoo Loa. So we're going to be doing these forever. Make sure you keep it locked. Smash that notification bell. If you guys are not already subscribed to my main channel, please go ahead and do that. Get your merchandise. Definitely got more on the way. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, do all that. And I'm going to see y'all next time.